Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you all doing today? So, my name is Aviraj, and I'm from Hack to Skill, and I'll be your host for the evening. And it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this AMA, that is the Ask Me Anything session for the Reinventing Youth Communication Hack 2023 to 2024. So, this particular initiative is kind of a brainchild or the backbone is driven by the Haryana State Police and the Haryana State Narcotics Control Bureau. And this is also powered by Hack to Skill. So, before we deep dive into the heart of the event, let's set the stage for the incredible journey that lies ahead. So, the primary agenda or the purpose of this particular session is to make you all more familiar with the hackathon itself and to address your queries along the way. So, we'll be setting the context of what the hackathon is all about and what are the expectations from the participants in terms of the submissions that they need to do and what are the kind of solutions that you need to work upon. So just before we dive into that particular aspect, I believe there are a lot of people who are attending this particular session who probably have registered for the hackathon, and some of you might be the ones who haven't registered for the hackathon. So let me just walk you through that particular stuff. So I'll be sharing my screen now, and I'll be walking you through the timeline of the hackathon and how exactly we need to proceed with it, and along with the overall registration and the submission flow. So just give me a moment. Yes, I believe my screen would be visible, right? So if it is, please drop a thumbs up or any particular thing that you would like to communicate with. Just let me know that everything is visible. Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, let's move forward with this. So this is what the hackathon landing page would look like. These are the problem statements, and this is what the overall timeline or the schedule would look like. So registrations opened up on 8th of December, and today we are having this session at 5 p.m. the AMA. So what we discovered was that we got multiple requests from a lot of you to push the deadline a bit further and to extend it in a way that you get more time to work upon your solution. So we have some good news for you. So as you can see on the screen, the deadline for registrations as well as the idea and the prototype submissions is now extended to 3rd of January. So a day's time in terms of the idea submission and the prototype submission. And the registration was supposed to be ending today, so we have extended a couple of days, a few days more in that particular front as well. So you can bring in more of your teammates and actually brainstorm together, and actually bring some good solutions onto the table. So that's one thing. Besides that, I'd also like to walk you through what the flow of the registration would look like and how exactly you need to go about it. So as you can see on the screen, there's a button that says dashboard. So as I've already registered onto the platform, I'm seeing the dashboard button, but if you haven't, you'll see a register now button. So this is for those who haven't registered for the challenge as of now. So you can just follow me over here, and you can do that right away after this particular, or you can follow me right now as well. So once you go into that and click on dashboard, click on register now, you'll get redirected to a form which you can fill out and register for the hackathon, post which you'll get this particular view. So once I click on this dashboard, you'll get redirected to the participant dashboard. Now, since obviously my name is Abhiraj, so I'm seeing this particular dashboard. And as you can see, there are a couple of things mentioned over here about your team members and a submission template that you need to particularly utilize to actually make the submissions. So this template, as you can see, so it has your team member's name, the problem statement you're working on, and the college or the organization you're from. So that's one thing. Besides that, you need to make things, submit things about the problem statement understanding. What is your viewpoint, and how do you comprehend the problem statement as a whole? About you also need to brief out about the idea that the idea that you're proposing to actually tackle the problem statement, and besides that, the proposed solution. So these are a couple of more slides in which you can describe that even further and detail down uh, your entire proposition in this particular front. So architectural and process flow diagram, that's what you have to use, the tech stack that you're particularly utilizing for this particular process, and the GitHub repository link of your prototype. So as it is mentioned in the on the website itself, and we've communicated this before, the you have to submit your idea, that is what exactly are you envisioning, and an MVP, that is a minimum viable product, or a prototype for that as well. So after you submit the GitHub repository link of the prototype, you also need to link a demo video. So this actually completes the overall submission. So if you want to add something else besides these particular things, you can add a couple of more slides onto this particular PPT, and feel free to do that. And besides that, as you can see on the screen, you need to click on submission. So as my submission is pending, you need to select the problem statement that you're working on, and then you need to put in the idea brief, the tech stack, and what exactly are the questions over here. So you need to address those, and then you need to post the link of the PowerPoint presentation that would be ultimately derived from the template that I showed you. So this is for the submission and the overall agenda and how you need to go about it. And for example, for the people who have not yet registered for this particular event, what you can essentially do is, post you land on this particular page, you can go down to this particular section, team management. So you can essentially create a team for yourself. And then once your team is created, then you can go on to and then you can go on to inviting some team members as well. Or if you're a participant and you want to join someone's team, then you can put in the team name over here, right? And you can actually establish a request that this is what you would like to join a particular team and work along with your teammates. So I believe this is something that is very clear, right? So if there is any other doubts, feel free to put them in the chat, or you can write us on the support email. We'll be happy to address those queries right away. So this is one thing. Besides this, now we come to one of the most important parts of the session, which is scheduled for our panelists. So now I'd like to introduce you to our esteemed panelist or the speaker for today. So please put your hands together for Mr. Subhash Kaviraj, the Honorable Commissioner of Police, Panchkula. So he has been one of the most distinguished police officers over here, and with a distinguished career of 90 from he's from the 1999 batch IPS officer. Mr. Kabiraj has been a staunch advocate for prioritizing the safety of women, children, and vulnerable communities, and his commitment also extends to addressing the critical issue of drug related problems, and that's the overall agenda of this particular hackathon itself. So let us extend our heartfelt applause to Mr. Subhash Kaviraj and express our gratitude for his dedicated service and leadership. So, sir, it's a pleasure to have you over here. So, if you're trying to speak, you're on mute right now. I believe he might be having some network issues. Okay, I believe he ran into another engagement, so he'll be joining us a bit later. So what we can essentially do is, so we can actually open the house for a bit of a questions that you might have in terms of the technical standpoint. So we can have Kaushik Roy, who is one of our technical experts, the CTO of Factoscan. So if you have any particular questions related till now uh, about the challenges or any particular thing that you might have, so we can address those.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, hi
I think we
Abhiraj.
have Kaushik over here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hello.
thank
Yeah.
you for joining, Kaushik. So, if there are any particular questions that are up on the chat box, we can take them up right now. Or else, I'd request you to kindly walk them through what is expected out of the problem statements. And post Mr. Kabiraj joins the call, we can have his insight on this particular thing as well. Yeah,
Yeah, sure. So
yeah.
meanwhile,
Thank you.
while Mr. Sivas Kaviraj joins in, we'll quickly take a few couple of questions that are out there in relation to the hackathon and submission questions. So the first question that we have got: which type of problems in today's generation? Yes, clarification, creating an app or a game. Okay. Yeah, I'll take this question first. Give
Yeah,
us clarification about creating app or a game. So to answer that, I'd say both the solutions require active involvement of metaverse, game development, and other sort of technologies which are immersive in nature. As a theme for the entire hackathon is to be coming up with immersive solutions. So obviously, it would be suggested that if you are having some sort of utilities of metaverse or 3D based modules in it, that would be appreciated. Though if you are unable to come up with, even mobile based applications which are gamified in nature will do for you. I
yeah.
hope that
Thank you,
answers.
Kaushik. I hope that, yeah, I hope that answers the question. Yeah. So, do we have the next question in the pipeline?
Yeah, I'm just going through it once.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question, as we see over here, is what kind of prototypes you prefer? Can it be dummy as well? So, Animesh, I'd like some clarity on this. By dummy, what do you mean? Is it based on the dummy data sets that you're gonna utilize? If that is so, then yes, you can utilize dummy data sets and use it in your application. But if it is something else that you're referring to over here, then I'd request you to kindly write it again onto the chat box.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Kaushik. And just to add on to that particular question, so the answer itself. So, Animesh, I would say that in terms of the readiness or the dummy of the product that you're particularly asking about, right? So, the more ready your actually the idea or the prototype is, the better your chances of getting selected. So that I'm saying this from a perspective that the evaluators, or essentially Haryana Police and NCB, can more understand, have a deeper understanding of what exactly are you trying to portray, and they'll be able to get the solution better, so that the whole communication remains streamlined. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
So,
next question is, yeah,
yeah, Raj,
Kaushik, please
you
go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
you're going over, Raj, please.
Okay. So I just read it out once again. So is the prototype of Figma acceptable for submission, as we need a bit of a time to develop it into reality till the date of the grand finale? Yeah, Kaushik, please.
Yeah. So to answer this, basically, for idea submission, obviously, idea submission round and submission of your ideas, that is 3rd of January. Obviously, Figma prototypes would be acceptable. But as we move forward to the further stages of the hackathon, we would require the actual prototype would be necessitated. But for 3rd of January submission, obviously, you're fine to go ahead with the Figma prototypes.
Yeah. So the next question is from AJ. What kind of submission are you expecting for the second problem statement? Do we need to prepare the content, then the strategy, and the tech as well? And what tech? Please elaborate.
Yeah, so to answer this, what kind of submissions are you expecting for the second phase? Problem statement, content strategy. So basically, when we talk about, it could be anything. The second problem statement, as you can see, is a bit more open-ended in terms of what is the objective is. It could be a content-based solution, but again, a content-based simple solution is not something which is feasible. You could work upon looking into how a LLM model could be utilized to generate content autonomously after certain times. This is just one of the ways in which you can look into. And then again, other solutions include, so anything that you are building needs to be a platform or a prototype which actually is not just a content that you have curated, but an application which generates content and then strategies. So I hope that answers your question. It's basically you creating a GPT model or a LLM model through which you can utilize it to help create content and awareness about the youth engagement. So that is one thing that we would suggest. Other than that, again, obviously, anything which involves metaverse and blockchain or 3D models is game development is something which would be highly appreciable.
Thank you for taking that, Kaushik. Thank you. Yeah. So can we have the next question, please? Yeah. It's from Tamim. So he says, can we AI as the domain for the second problem statement? And which kind of model is preferable, proprietary or open source model? Yes, Kaushik, please.
Yeah. So to answer this question, can we AI as a domain for second problem statement and what kind of model? So basically, working on already trained data is something that would be appreciated, and how we can start working on those data is something which would be ideal case. So that is which is will be appreciating in terms of model. Meanwhile, we'll begin with the next set of questions. I will ask if you could just take over and have Mr. Sibas over here.
Yes, absolutely. So I just got the notification that Mr. Sivash is already on the call. So we'd just like to call him up on the stage. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Sivash Kabiraj. Hello, sir. Good evening. Thank you very much
Hi,
for
good
joining the call.
evening. All good?
Yes, sir. All good. How are you doing, sir?
Okay, great.
Great, sir. Thank you very much. So, in the meantime, till you join the call, I'll just provide you a bit of a context. We were addressing some of the queries, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll take that now in the later section of this particular call. So, before we actually deep dive into the Q&A and particularly focus on that, I'd just like to request you to please set the stage and enlighten the participants with the vision and the mission behind organizing this particular hackathon itself. So, what was the purpose, and what exactly was the vision from Haryana Police and NCB, and what exactly would you like to accomplish from this? So, please, if you could shine some light on that, it'll be great.
Yes, thank you, Raj. See, right now, the main problem that our teenagers are facing is a lot of distractions, not
Yep.
only from the drugs, from the delinquency, like the gangs, different kind of gangs, and digital distractions, everything. So we don't want, particularly the drugs addiction, we don't want the teenagers to fall in prey to such abuse. So we want to have a good channel of communication with them, a unique and a very innovative channel of approach to the youth. So far, what has happened that all the channels of communication, traditional channels of communication, either through posters or through Instagram posts or whatever social media post, and everything we have tried, but it has failed. You might have seen that the number is growing on and on. It's increasing exponentially. So we need to have a unique method, a different method of communication to the youth, so that they can understand the problem. So they we want something which can set up a stage or set up an environment of simulation for them. What are the problems they are going to face in real life? See, whatever we teach them and in what way we teach them, that don't go for drugs and don't fall into peer pressure, or
Right.
whenever you are going to parties, don't try new things. Whatever we
Right.
teach them, but it's not working. So we need the youth to decide for themselves. See, this is the time when they are going to face a lot of challenges in the world. So the kind of choices they are going to make, these are going to shape their future. So we
Right.
want communication to them. Like we are trying one thing here, like escape room. So a teenager is entering into escape room. It's a physical model where he is finding a lot of choices, good choices and bad choices. So when he's going for the good choices, finally he comes out of as a winner. And winner means he has got a lot of distractions as the obstacles, and he crosses those obstacles and he comes out as a winner. In the same way, we want some esports thing, like some gaming thing, or something which can make them feel that what they are going to face in future in real life. Like if they are going to a party, some peer pressure will be there. So how will they face it actually, and what they should do when it comes? They should be prepared for it, mentally prepared for it. So they have
Right.
heard of it, but they haven't experienced it. So we need to make them mentally ready, that what they are going to face when they are going to such a group, or whenever they are suppose depressed or something, and these things will come into mind, and at what time what they should do. So there are many things we need to make them mentally tough for such future conditions, for future challenges. So for that we need a model. It can be a gaming model. It can be e-sport. It can be anything. So that's what this hackathon is for the bringing the ideas of communication to the youth. How we can communicate to the youth, and what platform we can give them on which they should work, and they should understand, and not only understand, they should also communicate to the other youth also. And lot of people they play it, lot of teenagers they play it, they understand it, and something of a real life simulation. Thank you.
Right, sir. Yeah, thank you very much for explaining that vision and the whole purpose behind organizing this particular hackathon. So, before we proceed to the next part of this session, I'd just like to walk the participants through the problem statement, and then we can have a brief discussion on that and what exactly are the expectations in terms of the problem statements that we have. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So, as you can see on my screen, the first problem statement, as Sir mentioned, is about gamification, some metaverse kind of an experience that we can provide. So, uh, in this particular problem statement, you need to create an engaging metaverse experience or gamification experience to educate the users of all ages, basically, or primarily the youngsters, about the drug abuse risks and how not to deviate into the path of delinquencies. So you need to utilize interactive features for impactful messaging and incentivize for positive choices, and along with that, address the safety and the regulatory concerns within the virtual space. That is basically the agenda for this particular problem statement. As Sir mentioned about the escape room, right? So this problem statement is essentially kind of a virtual version of that escape room, and how we can basically promote it more, even in terms of the online engagement. So, anything you would like to add on in terms of the problem statement, and what
Yeah,
exactly is the expectations for this particular
yeah,
thing?
the problem statements are self-explanatory, and if any participant, if they are having any doubts, any clarification, you can please shoot.
Yeah, yeah. Please feel free to show them on the chat box. And let's now move on to the second problem statement, which is more about and more centric towards communication. So, what you essentially need to do is you have to create a dynamic communication strategy for anti drug messages, as Sir mentioned about Instagram and various communication channels as well, which haven't been so successful. So, you need to make one which is. So, this is one of the things. And besides that, the overall communication strategy, and you can utilize mobile applications, social medias, etc., to actually tackle this particular problem statement. So if you still have any particular doubts for any particular problem statement, feel free to show them on the chat box, or you can write us to the support email, that is support@hactoskill.com, and we'll be more than happy to address those. So, Sivasha, thank you for joining this particular call. And before we end these problem statement explanations, any particular closing notes or any tips that you like to give to the participants so that they can actually come up with a better solution and at the end of the day? Any tips for them?
I am thankful to all the participants who have shown their enthusiasm, and they have joined the hackathon. And I also congratulate the hackathon team, Hack to Skill team, Aviraj, and your team, that more than 2,000 participants they have
Thank you so much.
joined. And it's a great achievement. And we are sure that something good will come up. And we will be able to devise a strategy, a medium to the youth, and whenever we will implement it to the ground level, and you will be happy to see how we are going to implement it at a mass level, and when it will be going to be a major life changer, then all our efforts what we are doing it right now, it will come to a fruitful end. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your insight. And now we can open officially open the house for the Q&A. So, any participants or any attendees of this session who have any particular questions, Sebastian can directly address them, and we can get started with that. So, can we have Kaushik is on the screen as well, so that he can address the technical aspects, and Sebastian can set the context and the overall agenda for this particular Q&A session.
Hello, hi Subhasji.
Yeah, Kaushik is here. Hi.
Hi, Kaushik.
Hi, hello. Yeah, well, shall we proceed with the Q&As?
Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
sure.
Please do. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll just ask the team for setting up the next set of questions over here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is from Music Raj. Is inclusion of metaverse/VR necessary in the prototypes? So Subhash Kaushik, anybody would like to take this up?
Yeah, it's not necessary, but you are using it, you are more than welcome, you're most welcome. It's not necessary. But if you are
Okay.
using it and you are giving the desired impact, what we are going to have the impact. So if you are using it, there is no problem. Medium is not a problem.
Understood. So basically, we need to achieve the end result, and what path we go down to achieve that particular thing is it's more important to actually achieve the thing. Yeah. Yeah. Kaushik, can we have the next question on, please, on the screen, please? Yeah. So the next question is from AJ. What kind of submission are you expecting for the second problem statement? Do we need to prepare the content, then strategy, and the tech as well? What tech? Please elaborate. Yeah. Yeah, Sibashi, anything you'd like to add on to this particular
No,
question?
I think you people, Abhishek, you will be able to answer it more aptly.
Yes,
Yes, thanks,
Kaushik,
Shivangi.
go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, yeah,
So,
please.
again, as stated for a second problem statement, it would be something which in which you can utilize certain LLM models, which could be used for different purposes to create content and help generate strategies for social media to create awareness among the youth. That is just one of the ways. Obviously, content generation is something which could be generated utilizing the software that you are building. So, we are looking forward to take best solutions which could either be on any of the technologies, be it metaverse, Web3, blockchain, or be it something like a LLM model being trained.
Yeah, thank you for taking that question, Kaushik, and I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So the next question is from Akanksha Gupta. Sir, is it necessary to make an Android app? Can't we create a web application? Yeah, Kaushik, Sibashi, anybody would like to add on something? And I think this is self-explanatory again, so it's absolutely uh, it is more important that we achieve what is expected out of the problem statements than the path we go down to actually achieve that. So in terms of the technical aspects, so anything Kaushik you'd like to add on, or Subhashi, anything you'd like to add on in terms of the
Anything you can,
context?
whatever, it can be Android, it can be web app, whatever you want to create. Okay, we can replicate it in other forms of communication. There is no problem. Later on, we can go for that. But whatever you have in mind, in which you can do your best, do it in that.
Noted. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Kaushik, anything you'd like to add on to that?
I know completely aligned with Shivaji that any of the solutions that you are looking forward to are acceptable in any form. Though obviously you need to look into what your target audience that you are preparing for utilizes the most, it is, whether it is a web app or Android applications that they prefer.
Right. Right. Thank you, Subhashi. Thank you, Kaushik, for that one. Yes. Can we have the next question on screen, please? So the next question is from Hardik Sharma. How can the metaverse be utilized to create a dynamic and immersive storyline that effectively communicates the sequences of drug abuse to the players of different age groups? Bharti, anything you'd like to input on this one? Hello, am I audible? Kaushik, Sibashi?
Kaushik, can you hear?
Yeah. I can hear. Okay, I'll just take it. So basically, when you're looking forward to building certain metaverse-based application, or which it obviously should have certain storyline. You could start with creating certain narration points, or in the idea submission, you can put focus on how the narration would go like and the user-driven direction, and accordingly then start building the pipelines on metaverse, or if you are using a game dev environment to build on your game. These are the two ways in which you can utilize the most of these technologies out there.
Yeah. Thank you for taking that, Kaushik. Hardik, I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Yeah. So the next question is from Akash. What strategies can be employed to incentivize positive in game behaviors and choices that align with a drug free lifestyle? And how can these incentives be integrated into the core gameplay experience? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the incentive.
Sibashi.
Yes,
Yes.
incentives can be the prize money. Okay, it can be the cash award. Okay, and if something is there, we will go for it. We will provide funds for that. And if some game is there which can incentivize in forms of money, then we will do it.
Understood. And I believe Kaushik would be able to cover the technical aspects. So, Kaushik, anything you'd like to add on to this one?
Yes, so what I'd say is that if you are looking forward to building a reward system is something that is essential. And if you look into the current gameplay features of multiple games out there, you can utilize it by giving certain badges to players who have achieved certain levels. So that is just one thing. And again, reiterating what Sebastian mentioned, obviously is present out there. So you can look into those aspects and move along with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Akash, I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much, Subhashi and Kaushik, for that one. Yeah.
Aviraj, I do think more or less the questions have been answered.
Okay.
A couple are still remaining. I'll just quickly take them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question is from Kriti. In the second problem statement, we have to make strategies you mentioned to check analytics. So how do we have to do that? Yeah. Subhashi, Kaushik, your input on that one, please.
Yeah. So, Sivaji, shall I take this?
Yes, yes, sure, sure. That's your
Yeah.
domain.
So, Kirti, when you are speaking about strategies, you mentioned to check analytics. How do we do that? So, if you look forward to, if you are, I'd first would like to know in much more detail what is the solution that you are planning to. Though to answer it generically, if you are building a reward-based incentive model into your application, or let's say a game that you are building upon, so all you need to do is you need to check on all the on-screen activities that the user is uh, performing on the screen. If it is a mobile based application, or even if it is a web app, there are multiple third party tools that you can utilize to integrate onto your application, so that you can have a detailed analytics. Some of those, just to name, are Google Analytics, Hotjar, and other tools which are out there. You can do a deep research on this and then utilize it to give a detailed analytics to the admin side, so that it's actually fruitful for the end user.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for taking that question. Thank you. Kriti, I hope that answers the question. So can we have the next one on screen, please?
Yeah, one last question and
Okay.
then we'll wrap it up.
Sure. So this is by Abhinash. So if you create a web-related academic of college students, and it is mandatory to evaluate the cybersecurity, like things we create a hardware-related IoT project of the security purpose. So Kaushik, I think this is again a more technical-driven question. So you would be the best one to contact for this. Or Subhash, sir, if you'd like to add on something to this one, please feel free.
But I think Kaushik ji, he will be better equipped. He is better equipped.
Okay, yeah, Kaushik, please.
Yeah, thank you, Sivasji. So, for to answer this question, basically, if you are looking forward to building a solution which is web related, or if you are looking to interact with multiple real life objects utilizing technologies like IoT, obviously you'll have to keep in mind the transmission or the handshakes that are happening between different ports are to be secured enough and not to be availed by different, it should not be left open ended. So that is something, basic nitty gritties you will have to keep in mind when you are building the prototype. But again, remember, this is just the prototype that we are looking forward to right now. So focus on your ideation and how well that could be built up into a final solution which the uh, Haryana State Narcotics Crime Bureau Control Bureau is looking forward to. So uh, I hope that helps answer the question. I will ask over to you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Kaushik. Thank you for answering that one. So I think, as you mentioned, that this was the last question that was up in the pipeline, and more or less the rest of them are already taken up. So, Sipajji, I'd just like to hand over the stage to you for a moment, and if you could please help us with some closing notes and any particular motivation that you'd like to get to the participants.
Yeah, I just want to thank you and your team and all the participants who have joined here, and wish you all the best. And whatever the queries are there, and I'm hopeful that you will be able to give them the best of the inputs, best of the assistance. And while they are developing it, since these are the students from the most from the engineering colleges or the technical background, and they will be needing a lot of help, a lot of guidance from you people. So you'll have to be on your toes to help them,
Absolutely, sir.
and the deadline is close by. So I would expect that all of you work as a team, and we come up with a very good and fruitful solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the closing note. So, with that, we come towards the conclusion of the session for this particular AMA session for the hackathon. So, you can find the resources or any particular important information up on the dashboard. So, regarding the submission templates or the resources, they're up on the dashboard and you can utilize them to actually enhance your solution further. And once again, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude towards our esteemed panelist, Mr. Subhash Kaviraj. So, thank you very much for sparing your time for this session and giving attendees some valuable insights and what exactly do they need to proceed with in terms of the problem statements and deriving a solution for the same. So, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And to all our lovely participants, thank you very much for being a part of this session. And if you still have any particular queries, anything that you would like to bother us with, please feel free to do that. You can put them up on the WhatsApp group that we have, right? So you can put the queries over there, or you can write us to at support@hacktoskill.com. So we'll be providing you with the required assistance over there. And just to reiterate the deadlines once again, so both registrations as well as the idea submission and the prototype submission, everything would be closing on 3rd of January at 11:59 p.m. So that's the time you have in hand. So please, if anybody of you hasn't registered for the hackathon, feel free to do so. Go ahead and just brainstorm with your team and get ahead with this. And besides that, those who already are working on the prototype, so all the best to you guys and all the best to everybody rather. So we are just really looking forward to what solutions we have to bring up on the table. So thank you very much for joining the session, and bye for now. Have a good day. Bye bye.